So I was checking out the new cost of Mistform, and I was talking on stream with my friend Mad Shadowman, and he showed me a clip of him using the Blood Mist to kill mobs, and he was almost staying at full Magicka the whole time. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Let's try to put together a completely AFK DPS build, and this is what I came up with. So the first thing that we've got, of course, is a high max mag pool. We've got almost no hit points. Doesn't matter. We don't really need that. Actually, well, that could be important if you're doing an activity where the mobs can pull you out of Mist. There are a few stuns that actually go through Mist in PvE, but if you're not getting pulled out of your Mist form, you don't need any hit points. It doesn't matter at all. Max stam doesn't matter. Mag recovery, health recovery, stam recovery don't matter one bit. Yeah, 6.3k spell damage. Really nice stuff. 50% spell crit. I am running the Shadow Mundus. The resists don't matter one bit. We're not even using an armor buff on this build. We pretty much just stay alive from tanking and healing in Mist form. Now let's get to the sets and how we're able to maintain full Magicka while in Mist form as well. So the first set we have is actually Grothdar. This is just to apply additional damage. We get the max Magicka, and then when we deal damage, we have a 10% chance to proc the Lava Pool. Very important that we pick a set that is off when we deal damage. We're not going to be light attacking. We're not going to be doing anything but sitting in Mist form. So this is definitely one of the best set options for the AoE that it provides. The next set that we have is the Hollow Fang Jerkin. Spell crit, max mag, spell crit, and when you critically heal or damage a target, you spawn a ball of hemoglobin at their location. After 2 seconds, it explodes, restoring 3k Magicka, and we get the Minor Vitality as well. That's not a huge deal, but the 3k Magicka back, and this is off critical damage or critical healing on a target. So yeah, this is going to proc a lot, pretty much on cooldown while we're attacking mobs, and this is going to allow us to stay in Mist form 100% of the time. Now, you don't need to use the Hollow Fang set. The new set that came with this patch that gives you Magicka back every time you damage an opponent is also a great option for this kind of a build. And then, of course, I've gone with a bit of a mix and match on the end here because we have the Thracian Stranglers set. Now, this set, of course, is going to be very hard to get when it comes live. It's one of the brand new mythic items, but as it sits right now, this is BIS for this kind of a trolley build because it's going to give us an insane amount of spell damage, and the damage reduction or damage increase that we take does not matter. We are still so tanky in Mist form. We'll be totally fine and full heal ourselves up every time. And then finally, we have got a 3-piece willpower, and this is just for the additional max mag and spell damage. I couldn't fit in really a proper set here. And then on the back bar, I have the Potentate, but the back bar does not matter at all, to be perfectly honest, because we're just going to be in Mist form the whole time. Nirnhone Precise for that outgoing damage. Honestly, we could maybe do a Sharpened instead of Precise here, but I am Shadow Mundus, so I think this is the best option for that. And then I have Brutality Draining Poison. That is wrong, but it doesn't really matter what we have here because we won't be light attacking anyway. And then for the jewelry, this is the secret to the build. I've gone full infused with the Magicka cost reduction, and that is how we get the Mist form down to 185 Magicka per second to cast. This allows us to pretty much just sit in Mist form, and yeah, this will deal damage to everything around us as well. Let's see what it looks like. And as we approach the mobs here, one last thing that I forgot to mention is I did put that new vampire skill that gives you the increased weapon spell damage in exchange for the health every few seconds. And I toggled that on, and that's why my health dropped so hard coming in here. But just look at this. We're going to take no damage, and they're all dying. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to lie. This is immensely satisfying. I've done a lot of grinding at the Spell Scar location, and just having to, like, run around, constantly hit the buttons. This was pretty sweet, and the damage output is not the best. I'm not gonna lie. It's not insane, but it's not bad either. I mean, I think a fair way for me to put this is that this requires literally no effort outside of just setting up the build, and then you just kind of float around and kill things in Mist form. And if you want to get better XP, obviously you'd have to click more. Yeah, this is this is pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. So, kind of a stupid build, I know, but something that I really did want to try and share with you guys, just showing you what you can do with these new vampire remakes, with this new vampire remake, and yeah, only more will come in the future. That's all I can really say. Do you guys think that this is going to be okay and hit live? I personally do. I don't think this is OP at all. I think the amount of resource it takes to make a build like this, you likely won't need a build like this, but hey, I do like that we have such a silly option, even if it's not the most effective. And the last little thing I did want to note about this is that there are some NPCs, like I said earlier, that can stun you even though you're in mist form, such as bosses, and just certain attacks from certain NPCs will also do it too. So there are areas where a build like this actually won't be very effective, but in something like Spellscar, I mean, yeah, need I say more? And of course, I have been working on the rework for Ghost on the PTS. The big boy that I'm using on this is the Ring of the Wild Hunt. 15% movement speed in combat, 45% out of combat. And I've paired this with some nice sets. I'll be able to use the Master's Bow because I will be able to do easy VDSA for it. Thank God. Swordslinger front bar. And then I believe I have just the single Molag Kenna and the 5 Griffins in the gear. And of course, it's all for this mist form speed. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely beautiful. The amount of movement speed that ring gives, 15% is a massive amount of stat, but that out of combat movement speed of 45%, in PvP you spend a lot of time not in combat, getting to the fight, repositioning in a keep, all this stuff. Movement is incredibly important, especially if you're playing by yourself. And I just think this ring is going to be an absolute must-have for me, and I can preserve so much damage on this build and just be so fast. Needless to say, I cannot wait to put this together on the live server and give it a shot. So there you go, guys. I'm having a lot of fun dicking around with the Vampire on the PTS. Honestly, I cannot wait for this update to go live. This is one of my most anticipated updates for this game. I really like Vampire. I've played it for a long time. I'm going to leave you guys with a little piece of footage from my Vampire Templar. I did jump on the live server to see how the lag was. It was pretty bad still, and I maybe forgot to bring potions, so nonetheless, I still had a half-decent fight, and I actually had a blast just playing ESO. I've had a little bit of time off, just kind of dealing with personal stuff, and it's been nice to get back into ESO. I really miss playing this game. I really miss playing PvP, so I hope to be on that live server a lot more in the near future. If you guys are interested in sending in your own clips for the top 5, or if you guys want to send in a build to be featured on the channel, you can send it to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. Give me a follow on Twitter to stay up to date with my shenanigans. Give me a look on Twitch if you guys want to catch some live gameplay. Check out KristoferESO.com for written guides to my builds, as well as a hub for all of my ESO content. And then finally, we're sponsored by What the Fast, their VPN for gamers. They give me better ping to my favorite games, and they're free to try for the first month. Link in the description down below. And of course, a big thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this, so thank you so much for supporting. Thank you, everybody, just for tuning in and watching today. And as always, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you next time.